I should have seen it coming. The late nights. The sudden distance. The cold shoulder in bed. All of it pointed to something ugly, but I just didn't want to believe it. Not about Ava. We've been married 8 years, and sure, things weren't perfect lately, but I thought it was just a rough patch. I was wrong. It started like this. Ava and I were sitting in the office of Dr. Palmer, a couples therapist she insisted we start seeing. I never wanted therapy. I thought our issues were just growing pains, that we'd work them out. But she kept pushing. So there we were. First 2 sessions were bearable. She said I didn't open up emotionally. I said she barely looked at me anymore. Dr. Palmer gave us homework, daily check-ins, more quality time. I actually tried. Even wrote down little notes to ask how her day went. Ava just rolled her eyes. 3rd session? That's where the grenade dropped. Dr. Palmer asked how the check-ins were going, and Ava laughed. Like, actually laughed. He's trying, she said, looking at the doctor. But it all feels fake. Like he's just checking a box. There's no passion. No spark. I was about to respond when she turned to me and said, honestly? I've been faking it for years. I fake being happy. I fake interest. I even fake satisfaction, because let's be real, you're not man enough for me. The silence in that room was louder than a gunshot. Even Dr. Palmer's jaw dropped. I stood up, walked over, shook his hand. Thanks for your time, document learned a lot today. Ava looked up like she didn't expect me to leave. Wait, where are you going? I think we're done here. But it wasn't just her words that ended it. I knew, deep down, that something else was going on. 3 weeks earlier, I had my suspicions. Ava had been staying out late. Girls' night became an excuse at least twice a week. Her phone? Locked up tighter than Fort Knox. Face down on the table. Taken everywhere, even the bathroom. And she never used to care if I glanced over while she texted. One night I stayed up. She didn't come home till 3:30 a.m. Claimed she was drinking with her friends and lost track of time. The next day, she acted like nothing happened. I didn't buy it. That's when I called Brandon Cook, my attorney. Told him I had a feeling. He recommended a private investigator. A week later, the PI had photos. Ava. At a hotel bar. Sitting across from her personal trainer, a guy named Derek. Tall, muscular, fake tan, fake smile. They looked real cozy. That night, they checked into a room together. 3 nights later? Same thing. Different hotel. They weren't even trying to hide it. I didn't confront her right away. I wanted the truth to come from her mouth. But it didn't. Instead, she sat in therapy and told me I wasn't enough. That's what broke me. That night after therapy, I acted normal. Came home, had dinner, small talk. She told me she and Mariah had gone shopping. She even smiled and said, I think therapy is helping. Yeah, I said. It's definitely shown me a few things. I went upstairs and canceled all 3 of her credit cards. Moved half the money from our joint account to a separate one. Called Brandon. Said I wanted the papers ready the next morning. She had no idea what was coming. Next day, I left work early, picked up the papers, and sat in the kitchen waiting. Around 5, Ava walked in, bags in hand. I picked up a few things for our date nights, she said, smiling. Thought I should put in some effort too. Then she saw the envelope on the counter. What's this? Why don't you open it? She read the first page. Her face fell. Divorce? Are you kidding me? Not at all. Because of what I said in therapy? I was just being honest. Yeah. That's the problem. You told a therapist you've been faking everything because I'm not man enough. She tried to grab her wallet, cards declined. You canceled my cards? They're tied to my account. Since you want a different life, I figured you shouldn't be living it on my dime. She screamed. Cried. Called it abuse. Said I was cruel. I told her she could stay in the guest room for 30 days. After that, she was out. Then I handed her the photos. Her and Derek. Holding hands. Kissing. Checking into hotels. She dropped them. Cried harder. Said it didn't mean anything. You were sleeping with him while I was trying to fix our marriage. While I paid your bills. While I forgave you over and over. It was a mistake. No. It was a choice. Repeated. Planned. Paid for with my money. She begged. Said she'd quit her job. Go to church. Sign a postnup. Anything. I didn't care. Brandon filed the papers. Ava moved in with her parents. Derek dumped her a week later. Turns out, he liked her better when I was footing the bill. Now she texts me every couple days. Says she made the biggest mistake of her life. That she still loves me. That she misses our life. I don't reply. She said I wasn't man enough. Now she can go find a real man willing to pay for her lies. As for me? I've got my house. My savings. My peace. My pride. And freedom from a woman who thought I'd never stand up for myself. She was wrong. 2 days after she moved out, I finally took a breath. The kind of deep, unbothered breath you take when the storm's passed and the air feels clean again. For the first time in what felt like years, the house was quiet, no passive-aggressive sighs, no slammed drawers, no empty apologies. Just peace. Ava kept calling. She sent a long, teary voicemail about how she messed up. Said she was scared and confused and didn't mean the things she said in therapy. Said she only slept with Derek because she felt unwanted. I didn't reply. Then the messages started coming in from her friends. From her sister. Even from her mom. She's hurting. You should talk to her. Don't throw away 8 years. I deleted every one of them. What they didn't know was what Ava had actually done. She didn't just cheat, she mocked me. In front of a therapist. She humiliated me while lying through her teeth. And the moment she realized she lost her access to the lifestyle I gave her, suddenly she remembered she had feelings? Nah. I was done being her ATM. Meanwhile, Brandon and the PI were still digging. I asked them to trace all transactions tied to Derek's gym. Turns out I had been paying for not just Ava's sessions, but his travel and hotel bills too. She used my card for some of their weekends away. That stung. I wasn't just cheated on, I was financing the whole thing. Brandon said this strengthened our case even more. There was no way she could go after any serious financial support now. When her lawyer tried to argue for alimony, Brandon simply slid the hotel receipts and photos across the table. End of conversation. About a week later, Ava showed up at the house. I didn't invite her. I wasn't expecting her. I was cleaning the garage when I saw her standing in the driveway with a bag in her hand. I just want to talk, she said. Nothing to talk about, I replied. Please. 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking. I let her talk. She cried. Said Derek had used her. That the relationship meant nothing. That she didn't know why she did it. That she still loved me. That she wanted to start over. I didn't say much. Just watched her squirm. When she was done, I said, you lied. You cheated. And you embarrassed me in a room meant for healing. I was angry. I was lost. And now you're broke. She flinched. Go home, Ava. This chapter's closed. She didn't argue. Just nodded, got back in her car, and drove off. That was the last time I saw her face to face. She still sends the occasional text. But she knows now. I'm not the man she can walk all over anymore. I'm the man who walked away and never looked back. After everything settled, there was a strange emptiness that hung around for a while. It wasn't sadness, really. More like the silence after an explosion. I wasn't heartbroken. I was tired. Drained. But also relieved. It took a couple weeks before the reality fully set in. I was free. Not just from Ava, but from the constant guessing, the guilt-tripping, the emotional landmines I had to tiptoe around every day. I could breathe without waiting for the next passive-aggressive jab. I could sleep without wondering if the person lying next to me respected me at all. For the first time in years, I started doing things just for me. I took long walks after work. I fired up the grill on weekends. I picked up my old guitar again. The strings were rusty and so were my fingers, but it felt good to play. Friends started inviting me out more. At first, I said no. I wasn't ready to be social. But eventually, I said yes. We hit the bar, watched games, played darts. They didn't bring up Ava. Just treated me like me. That helped more than they knew. One night, my buddy Ryan asked, "You ever think about dating again?" I laughed. Man, I just got out of emotional jail. Let me enjoy the parole. But truth is, I had started thinking about it. Not seriously, not yet. But I wondered what it would be like to be with someone who didn't need constant validation, who didn't see me as a walking credit card, who didn't need drama to feel alive. I wasn't looking for perfect. I was just hoping for peace. And for once, that didn't feel like too much to ask. Time has a funny way of clearing things up. In the middle of it all, when the pain is fresh and the betrayal feels like a punch to the ribs, you think you'll never feel normal again. But after a while, it settles. You get perspective. You see the cracks that were always there. I've come to realize that I spent years loving a version of Ava that never really existed. I was in love with who I thought she was, not the person she became, or maybe always was beneath the surface. The real Ava needed admiration, attention, and validation constantly. I gave her everything I had, financially, emotionally, even spiritually. But none of it was ever enough. And here's the kicker, it was never about me. Her cheating? Her lies? That was about her emptiness. Her craving for something she didn't even understand. It wouldn't have mattered if I made twice as much money or if I'd been some silver-tongued romantic. She'd still have found a reason to be dissatisfied. Once I understood that, the guilt disappeared. The weight lifted. I stopped asking myself if I could have done more, said more, loved better. I had done plenty. I started journaling. Nothing fancy, just late-night thoughts and realizations. Stuff like, love doesn't have to hurt, or someone who truly values you doesn't gamble you away. That journal became a map, showing me how far I'd come. One entry still sticks with me. I wrote it on the night I deleted Ava's final message. She said I wasn't man enough. But real men don't tolerate being disrespected. Real men walk away from the fire and rebuild somewhere better. That's what I did. That's who I became. And that's the story I'm sticking to.